Hi, this is Tall, and today my topic is a little bit of an uncomfortable one to talk about. For myself, it's not something I'm going to claim that I have a tremendous amount of mastery over, and that's the art of relationships and intimacy and commitment and trust. All of these things, sacred bonds and unions. These are more than just a legal agreement that we make with each other. And not something that I've had a terrible amount of personal success with. And I believe that there's nothing more honorable and beautiful than having and raising and a family and being together and taking care of each other. And really, this is how we come into this world, and this is how we're meant to live, not isolated as individuals. But then there are differing gifts, and some people have more of a calling to be separate for various different reasons. This has always been. I believe we come into the world with various different gifts, and that we don't really remember, but we find them again. They show up, and it's just a matter of making a decision to go forward with it or not, really. Back to the subject of relationships and specifically intimacy, I believe Ra'a wants to speak about today. And so this is a going back to what I refer to as my former incarnation, the Thuban era. My people were very tribal, and we had various sorts of we had a definite culture. We had not so much a specific religion as a practice, but various different superstitions and ideas about astrology and very similar things to what's practiced here. I believe that we were primarily a monogamous people, but we also did have polygamous arrangements as well, as this is necessary for survival, oftentimes in isolated people. And it's a way of life that, like so many other things, I don't think should be completely judged. The Western standard is not the only moral standard that exists. Anyway, going back to the subject of intimacy, which is where I believe that Ra is wanting me to speak about, and this idea of trust. It's very funny. I was watching a video on Facebook today, and it was this thing where I guess this is apparently a way of going back into your a way of probably of finding release from the physical body by um, going into a fetal position and being wrapped like this. And I've never heard of this for adults. I know that with children and with animals, it's something that helps them feel calm and safe, and it's a womb-like environment. I've always wanted to try the flotation, and I think that I will do that pretty soon here, just because I need to. Anyway, that's another subject. But there's something very beautiful to that. But immediately, what struck me was that I'm not going to allow someone to tie me up into a sheet, and the self defensive posture comes back. Shades of PTSD, quite possibly so. These are just remnants of the old mind and old memories and old fears, but still, yet I'm not going to let somebody wrap me up in a sheet and tie me up. Um, it's my choice, but I can see that that's one of those issues. Anyway, rambling a bit. Intimacy is trust. It implies trust. It implies a surrender, a complete vulnerability. I'm thinking I want to stop talking because I think it's a good idea, and I'm going to allow my teacher to speak through me, and we'll see what he always has a slightly different, sometimes very 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 different viewpoint than my own, and I really don't have a lot to say on this subject. That's about all I can say. So I'm going to just go into my trance, and I'm going to allow Ra to speak. And as I'm doing this, I'm watching and I'm seeing my vision, and it's approaching. We've already discussed this. Yes. He's telling me, I'm saying this is like playing a musical instrument. It's an art form, it's a skill to be developed. One doesn't simply play a musical instrument with skill without first properly preparing the learning and the sensitivity to accommodate the playing of such an instrument. We are not playing instruments with each other. However, we must properly prepare ourselves for this sort of thing. This is not to be taken lightly. To bind two souls together is an act of willingness that is only as powerful as the souls are willing to open themselves and allow the vulnerability and the trust and the process. What is it like to become one completely with someone else who is not you? It's not possible until you recognize that this person is you. When you can see that this person is you, you have nothing to fear. And then you can embrace in this manner. The source of the energy of your creative force, of your God energy, is stored within this activation. When you complete this activation, you feel this energy, awareness becomes this. This is the spiritual force that is within yourself. When you share this with another, you become God. You become creator, not the created. There is a time for everything. To observe the growth of a plant, from its seed to its flowering to its forming back into seed, and then re-emerging again. There is a time for pollination. There is a time for growth. There is a time to eat and feed from the elements and from each other. We don't have to be intimate only with each other in order to become one. We can simply accept that this person is myself, and therefore they're not a threat, and therefore I can embrace this person as they are me as well. If we see that we're all God, this is very simple to do. Well, that wasn't what I expected at all. um, okay, that is. I really thought he was going to get more into alchemy, and that sort of thing. And perhaps we will expand on this because I really want to know a lot more about this. But that the idea of not necessarily a surrender to another being, but an acknowledgement and a seeing that we're actually all the same. That's the message, I guess, for today. And thank you so much for listening to all of this. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.